I'm Coach Clarissa, and today we are going to run through a leg workout. So we're going to be focusing on quads, hamstrings, glutes, like just all of it, the total leg. We are starting out with our leg press. So in this particular demonstration, I ran through a couple different variations of the leg press. We're using a Atlantis brand pivot style leg press here, so they move really smooth. I've shown a variation for targeting whole legs, so hamstrings, quads, inner thighs, glutes. And then there's also a variation for targeting a little more on the hamstring and for targeting a little more on the quad. So it all has to do with foot placement. When we're running through the leg press, because it's a fairly safe and stable environment, we can generally run anywhere between like 8 and 20 reps, just depending on what your goals are. And with that, we want to run probably 2 to 4 sets, again, depending on your goals.
So this is our Atlantis pivot leg press. We're going to start by putting our feet in the middle of the foot plate. So this is going to give us just kind of a total leg exercise here. We have the rack on the side to unrack it. You want your feet in the middle. We want toes and knees in line. We're going to bring that hinge all the way down to the bottom. So we're working full range of motion. Knees and toes are always tracking in line. We have our feet about hips distance apart, and we're pressing evenly through the whole foot, our heel, our toe, our pinky toe. So we have good connection. You should feel quad, hamstring, glutes. Now, if we want to make it more quad focused, we're going to walk our feet down on the foot plate. And here we still want to keep pressing through the whole foot. We still want that full range of motion. We're just loading more predominantly on the quad. If you find that your heels come up, then we need to work on some ankle flexibility, but we want to feel this mostly in the quads here. Do still keep making sure that you're pressing those knees out. We do not want them tracking together at all to protect the knee. And then we can also do another variation where we're targeting more of the hamstring. So we walk our feet up to the top of the foot plate, kind of wide, still no toes and knees tracking in line with each other, and you're still working that full range of motion. This you should feel more on the hamstrings and maybe a little bit of like that glute hamstring tie-in area. You're still working full range of motion. You're still pressing through that whole foot. And that is our variations of the Atlantis pivot leg press.
Then from there, we move through our hamstring focused back extension. So hinging on this particular exercise versus bending your back is really important. And we want to keep that bend in our knees so that we're really, really focused on the hamstrings. It's not a big range of motion. And again, these are super hard. So you should feel your hamstrings light up before you ever even move. So working between 8 and 15 here just depends on where your fitness level is and what your goals are.
All right, so we're going to do the back extension using the hyperextension station and targeting the hamstrings. So we want to make sure with our particular station that we're using that when we are set up, our hips are going to more than clear this area here, because we want to be able to hinge properly. And if we have that pad right there at the hip crease, we can't hinge like we should. So to modify, we're going to use these yoga blocks. You just slide them here and here. And then we're just going to slide it up. Oops. There we go. And slide it up. All right, now to focus on the hamstrings, we really want to make sure that we are having our knees below the pad. Okay, so we should have that slight bend in our knees. And now you can see how high we have, like a good inch to inch and a half of the hip being above the hip pad. All right, so we're going to start out, really, really drive your feet into those blocks, into the foot plate. You're going to lower, so we want to hinge. Make sure that our knees are bent. So that's contracting hamstring right here. You should already feel them lit up. And get your spine neutral. And then we're going to pull ourselves up by contracting glutes and hamstrings. So spine stays neutral. It doesn't need to be a big movement. It just needs to be a really contracted movement. Head of the hamstring should be firing hard, and so should glutes. And that is our hamstring focused back extension.
Our goals are. And then from there, we have a single leg exercise. So we're using a perfect squat machine here to do the Bulgarian split squat or single leg squat. And with this, we want to be, it's unilateral, so we're working one leg at a time, and we want to be sure that we're getting equal work on both sides of the body. Again, foot placement is going to target either more hamstring and glute or more quad. So it all goes back to that foot placement. 8 to 15, 2 to maybe 3 sets is what we want to aim for here. And then,
all right, we're going to use our perfect squat to do a single leg squat, so like a split squat, right? You can also do this off of a V squat if your foot plate is low enough to the ground. So we're going to step in, we're going to unrack, make sure that our foot is about in the middle of our foot plate here. We want to hold on, make sure that we're loaded nice and square, contract your core. We're going to press through this whole foot. This is our working leg. You're going to step back. As we're stepping back, we want the knee stacked on top of the ankle. Good. And then drive forward. As we are lowering, you should feel hamstring, you should feel quad, you should feel glute, you should feel core. If we want to make this more quad dominant, we're going to get that knee, so we're hinging closer, bringing that knee forwards. That way we should feel a little more of our quad. And we're going to take and repeat on the other side, so make sure that foot is under the hip. Press through the whole foot, step back, get that knee over the ankle. So you shouldn't feel anything in your back. You should only feel quads, hamstrings, glutes, and core.
And then if you still need another single leg variation, there is we run through the option to do the single leg press, where it's pretty much the same as stance as a split squat stance or as a single leg squat. It's just in a little bit more of a controlled environment. So here, same thing, we're working between 8 and 12, maybe 15 reps, 2 to 3 sets, and making sure that we're getting equal work on both sides of the body. If you're going to do the perfect squat for your split squat, you don't necessarily need to do the leg press. Usually just one unilateral movement is enough per session, and then you can save that other one for the next time you work out. All
right, so we're going to do a single leg press here. So foot about in the middle of the foot plate, going to unrack. You can keep your non-working leg here. You can set it down here. You're going to bend this knee, bring it down, press through the whole foot, back up. So you should feel hamstring, you should feel quad, you should feel glute, you should feel your whole foot is really pressing into that foot plate. If you find that your heels are coming up, do walk it forwards, get some more length on that hamstring. And then we're going to repeat it on the other side. And that is our single leg press.
All right, I hope you enjoyed your workout. If you do, let me know. If you don't, let me know as well. Feedback and input is always appreciated. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.